Good morning. So I've had this video requested of me, and since this is probably going to take some time, I'm going to do this in 3 parts. I have 3 bookshelves, so this is a bookshelf tour. I'm going to start with my left shelf, start at the bottom, work my way up here. At the bottom, I have, on the left here, we have the Dan Brown books. I have them all in hardback. I love Dan Brown. I have the 5 Robert Langdon books and the 2 standalone books, Deception Point, Digital Fortress. And on the right, I have Blake Crouch and his books. I have all, but I think 1 book. I mean, Blake Crouch is more known for Dark Matter and Recursion and the Wayward Pines trilogy, which is the 3 standing there on the left. I have read all of these books except for Abandon by Blake Crouch. I've read all the Dan Brown. I've read all the Blake Crouch except Abandon there. Next shelf, we start to get in. I mean, the next 4 shelves are all Stephen King. I have all of Stephen King's books except for Holly, the newest one. I've read it. I hated it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it. When you're talking about Stephen King, it's something around close to 80 books. I have read all of them but 4. The 4 books I haven't read are Sleeping Beauties, Lisey's Story, Cycle of the Werewolf, and Tommyknockers. Obviously, the big thing with Stephen King is every time I go to a used bookstore, it's the first thing I look for. I mean, I obviously like them in hardback, as you can see here. Don't mind Prison Mike over there. He's just, keeping things in point here. But I like to get them in hardback. I mean, obviously the older first edition hardbacks, his older books, Skeleton Crew, Christine, Needful Things. It's hard to find some of those in hardback. If you are, you're very lucky. If not, you have to pay for them. I mean, some of the non-Dark Tower first edition hardback books are $90 to $100 used. I always get envious of people that go out and they find them in estate sales or used bookstores or Goodwill or something like that, and they get them for like pennies on the dollar. Dark Tower first editions, especially of the first 4 books, I mean, you're paying thousands. Obviously, I really enjoy Stephen King. I have all of his books again. I have read, again, all of them except for those 4. And I try to find, when I can, them in hardback. I do have some first editions, as you can see here. I love some of my favorites, Insomnia. It took me 4 times to read that. Not because of its size, and it is a chunky book, but the first 3 times I just couldn't, it just was boring. And then for whatever reason, the 4th time, I stuck it out, and I'm so glad that I did, because the back half of the book is so good. The Stand, I've read that twice. I've read some of these books I've read multiple times. And then up here, you have some paperbacks, again, older books I can't get copies of in hardback, or I haven't found them yet. I always look again. Tessa made this 19 for me. If you have read the Dark Tower series, you'll understand what that reference is. But yeah, I mean, here's the 8 books in the Dark Tower series. I have a couple copies of, the first book. I have it in hardback. I have yet to find book 4 in hardback. But again, I'm not going to pay thousands of dollars for a book. That just seems silly. I have this fantastic book, The Green Mile. I have it both in the complete edition and the serial editions. Mr. Mercedes trilogy, I don't have that in hardback. I have the hard case crime books, 3 he's written. Colorado Kid is an absolute snooze fest. Not one of my favorites. I have 2 Dark Tower Concordance Again, another hardback book, an early one, Thinner by Richard Bachman. He's writing as his pseudonym. Same thing with, Road Work and Running Man, Long Walk. Some of the earlier ones, The Shining, Night Shift, Carrie. I have those all in just mass market paperback, which is fine. And then up here on the top, I have his son, Joe Hill. I think I'm missing 2 books by him. Some of them are like the Lock and Key books that he wrote for a series. I don't have those. I've read Black Phone. I want to read this collection of short stories. I've read this one, Like His Father. This is a book of 4 novellas, similar to like Different Seasons and Full Dark No Stars, which I'm reading right now. Horns I've read. It's okay. Heart-Shaped Box I've read. Unbelievably good book. A ghost horror story. Nosferatu, I've tried multiple times to read this. This is kind of an homage to like It, in a way, but I've not been able to get through it and just not right headspace. The Fireman is a good book. I've read, 150 pages of it. It's a big one like Nosferatu. I will get back to these 2. Definitely want to get back to this one. I really like the premise of it so far. It just, again, you get these big books and you don't get in the right headspace and you need to take a break. So I definitely will get back to those. But yeah, that's the first shelf. Again, there's a lot of books here. There's probably less than 8 books, maybe 7 books here that I haven't read. Got a copy of Blockade Billy, one of my favorite short stories by Stephen King. It's really good. Definitely want to do a short video soon where I talk about some of the ones I really didn't like from Stephen King. But yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, I'll do 2 more because I have 2 more shelves. Hope you're having a great day. Take care.